Agriculture on the move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Good day and welcome to another program, Agriculture on the Move. I am Phillip Sydney. In today's program, we are discussing a critical area in agriculture, that is the Youth Agri-entrepreneurial program. Very important to St. Lucia. It looks at the unemployment situation and of course getting youth into agriculture. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Terrance Charlemagne, who is the coordinator South for that project. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sydney.
Mr. Charlemagne, that program was conceptualized approximately about 2 years or more ago. Let's go back in a little background, because let us give St. Lucians an idea of what this program is all about and how it all started off. Can you give us an insight into this?
Actually, yes. Actually, the program was conceptualized about in 2011. And then it was not until 2012 that the young individuals were selected and then went through some training. The program is a collaborative effort between the government of St. Lucia and the CARICOM Development Fund. And then it is based, the project is based on bringing in young individuals into farming, having them to develop a different mindset in terms of using agriculture as a business. Developing this entrepreneurial mindset where you have agriculture as an alternative. So that is basically the concept under which that project was developed.
Okay, so far, what has happened since? I know you all got about 78 persons trained and they are ready to go. Where is that project now?
Okay, we are at a point where the lands have been surveyed, also demarcated, and then we're in the process of allocating those lands to the individuals. However, before that, we had to go into some agreement with Crown Lands and Invest St. Lucia. And then the lease agreement with Invest St. Lucia has been completed. And then we are at a stage now where we are waiting our equipment that has been, the contract for procurement of those equipment have been done. And then we are waiting the equipment and then for us to continue with refresher training for the individuals.
But before you get to that point, let's go back a bit based on the training. What sort of training those 78 persons got? Because I know they had developed some business plan, and there's a link with the SLDB. Could you give us a little insight into this?
Okay, the training encompass business skills, it encompass life skills, training in the technical aspects of agriculture. After the training, the individuals had to come up with a business plan. And then all 78 individuals actually have formulated the business plans. And then we are now reviewing the business plans, and then that will be done in collaboration with the St. Lucia Development Bank. And the St. Lucia Development Bank has a facility which is known as the equity fund, where the individuals will gain, individuals under the age of 35 will gain access, will get benefit from that fund. That fund is up to a maximum of $50,000, and then any additional fund that is required, then it will come up in the form of a loan for the individuals to go into the various enterprises that they have selected.
Okay. What are the enterprises? I know the crops and their livestock. especially in the livestock section. I know poultry is one of the areas. Could you give us an idea of the number of young farmers who are interested in that area of agriculture?
Okay. As you rightly indicated, there are about 78 individuals. We have about 23 individuals who are interested in the poultry production, broiler production. Then we have others that are interested in crop production, and about 40 of them are interested in crop production. Also in small ruminant, in beekeeping, and orchid production, and agro-processing.
Okay.
Well, again, rabbit production is also part of it.
Part of it.
Yeah.
Now, Charlemagne, let's look at it. Agriculture is a business. Now, we need to, as you said earlier, we need to change the mindset, which I agree, because agriculture is no longer, looked at as drudgery. It's now a business. It's now technical. How you see those young persons getting involved in it, or we need to, there's a word they use, to sexy up agriculture. How do you see that the way forward with those young persons?
Actually, it is interesting that with the 78 individuals, and if you realize there have been some tardiness in the actual implementation of the program, and the 78 individuals are there waiting. And if within 2 years, you're seeing that the interest has not wavered, that means that the level of interest is there, and then they can see, or they have seen, the value of agriculture as a business. So the individuals, they are very much interested. They know for a fact they are the other crop of farmers. As you know, we have an aging farmer population, and when we are depending on those individuals to actually take up the mantle within the agricultural sector.
But at the end of the day, do you see those young persons, when they get involved in the project, employing other persons? So there's another side of it in terms of a form of looking at the unemployment situation and getting other persons working along with those young persons on their farm.
Well, again, from the offset, you have 78 individuals who are employed, who get employment. So that is a fait accompli. Then every individual, based on the enterprise, may employ at least 3 other individuals. So that means you have a total pool of about 450 young persons employed under the project.
Right.
And that's the first phase of the project. We have another 72 individuals in waiting. So that would bring the total to about 150 individuals that will be actually using agriculture as a business. So you might get in as much as over 750 individuals being employed under the project. And
the interesting thing is, and I heard the Prime Minister mention of this in his budget, and he's very passionate about it, like the Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Moses Jabatis. We're looking at bringing down that food import bill, which is $350 million annually. But we will come to that point in a while. We are due for a break. We are watching Agriculture on the Move. We will be right back. Stay tuned.
Agriculture, one of the pillars of St. Lucia's economic development, creating opportunities for earning a living for the farmer and his family. From the field to the kitchen, the St. Lucians are finding creative ways of using fruits, crops, and vegetables grown locally, from local seasonings to special brews, from aquaculture to the cultivation of local herbs for export. A strong agriculture industry strengthens the economy. The country needs your support, so buy local.
Welcome back to the program, Agriculture on the Move. Terrance, for me, that program is very exciting because the numbers that you mentioned earlier, that is proof. If and when that is well entrenched, there'll be a lot of persons that will be employed. And not only that, like I said, our food import bill should be lowered, in a year, 2 years, 3 years, next 5 years to come. Where are those persons are going to be located? Give us an idea of the lands, where they are, And how many acres of land are going to be allotted to each individual?
As you rightly said, Mrs. Sydney, it's not just a matter of the creation of employment under the project, but also that will reduce our food import bill. Then we have the matter of food security.
Great.
And we need to attain food security, because any nation that cannot feed itself is a failed nation.
That's right.
Okay. Further, I also mentioned the aspect of having a new crop of young farmers. And then these farmers are distributed throughout the length and breadth of St. Lucia. You have the River Dory area, that's in the River Dory Choiseul. You have some of them in the Beauséjour area, close to the Beauséjour Agricultural Station. You also have them at Mabuya Valley, the Roseau Valley. Okay, these are the main pockets where we will be having the farms. Each individual will be allotted between 2 and 3 acres of land.
Okay.
But individuals with the livestock will be allotted a reduced acreage.
Okay.
Based on the nature of the enterprise that they are.
That's
they are
understandable.
going to
But
get into.
there's another worrying problem for me in that in Roseau, knowing Roseau can become cumbersome because it's in a floodplain. The area that you have identified, I don't know to your knowledge, that area floods, right?
Yes, some areas do flood. However, we have the engineering division with us, and then the aspect of drainage. We also have a risk mitigation management strategy in place that will assist to reduce the impact that any flood will have on the individuals. So there are measures being taken. We are collaborating with agencies both within the Ministry of Agriculture and outside of the Ministry of Agriculture that will actually help us to mitigate on the risk that are associated with the project.
There are other challenges. For example, in certain areas you have squatters. You also have, I still call them squatters too because farmers who are squatting with cattle. How are you going to address that situation?
Well, I do not want to call them squatters, but I would like to call them individuals or even business individuals who want the lands to be regularized so that they could actually gain a level of income. Okay, so what we're doing is not the matter of displacement of those individuals, but we are going to work with them. For example, in the Mabuya Valley, we have reached an agreement with the cattle farmers where we have extended the area where the cattle can graze, and then actually they are very much interested because of the project and the manner in which we approach the project, that they're interested in coming up and form a cooperative. Okay. So actually what is happening is that the project has allowed for the opportunity for those individuals to realize that there is a need for them to come together and then for them to adopt the same agriculture, the same farming as the business, as the individuals, the young individuals that we are introducing into the agricultural sector.
As you mentioned the question of cooperatives, right now we have the Department of Cooperatives on board in the Ministry of Agriculture. Those young farmers, those young entrepreneurs, are they going to be formed in a cooperative unit so that they can work together? How is this going to work?
They have expressed, the individuals have expressed the desire to form a cooperative. To the extent that we have worked with the Department of Cooperative, where the bylaws, there is an interim committee in place, headed by Mr. Terrance Charlemagne, and then they have already formulated the bylaws, the draft bylaws. And the draft bylaws are presently with the Department of Cooperative for registration. From there, we are going to meet the entire youth agri entrepreneurs, where they're going to come up with their ratified bylaws and the board of directors and other committees associated with the cooperative. When
those individuals are involved, they have started working. You are there's one coordinator north and one coordinator south. in addition to you, the two coordinators, how is extension involved in the whole stream of things?
Okay. The other coordinator, the Northern coordinator at present is Mr. Johnny Smith. And then, in addition to the two coordinators, we are working in collaboration with the Extension Service for our technical assistance, technical assistance. We are working with the Veterinary and Livestock Department. We are working with the Engineering Department, Marketing Department, and all other units within the Ministry of Agriculture that will ensure the success of this project. So actually, it is not just a YEP project in isolation, but it is one that finds itself at the domain of the Ministry of Agriculture.
So, are you saying the project now is at a go as far as, say, finance is concerned? I know SLDB is on board, but if tomorrow, okay, everything is well established, the lands are ready to go, are the farmers able to get finance to move on?
The project is so designed where with the $3.9 million sponsored by the Caribbean Development Fund and also counterpart funding by the government of St. Lucia, the project will be providing the infrastructure to the young individuals. Okay. And then what the operating cost will be met by the individuals themselves. So think of, for example, materials for construction of the houses, for the pig pens, the poultry coops, and all other infrastructure, pumps and these things will be handled by the project, will be facilitated by the project. And the operating cost will be handled by the individual. So it is more or less like a partnership. We are more or less developing that level of partnership between the individuals and the project and the government of St. Lucia, where the individuals will gain ownership. So that you take somebody from maybe a baby and you teach that person how to walk. Okay. So that they will get to know how it is, that the level of responsibility that they need to take in going through a business, a small business.
So the financial management aspect, which is key, because you're talking about the young persons coming in, they are green really in the business of agriculture. They're technically inclined to a certain extent, but when it comes to liaising with SLDB and that financial aspect, which is crucial. SLDB in the past has gotten licks, as you know, and they're coming back on board again. We need to ensure that there is this, that cohesiveness. Who is going to police that?
Okay. First, there is a condition of participation that is drawn out and that is formulated, and signed by all individuals on the project. There is a MOU with the financial institutions.
Hold that point. We're moving fast and furious. Okay. We are due for a break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
The Pesticides and Toxic Chemicals Control Board reminds all importers of such chemicals that according to the Pesticides and Toxic Chemicals Act, only chemicals which have been registered and granted approval by the board can be legally imported for use in St. Lucia. Agricultural and household chemicals that are not licensed for use in St. Lucia can be harmful to its users and the general public. Before placing orders, importers are advised to check the approved list of pesticides or household chemicals to ensure that they can be legally imported. An import license must be obtained from the Research and Development Division of the Ministry of Agriculture and must be submitted to the Customs and Excise Department to facilitate the clearance of the consignment. For further information, contact the Ministry of Agriculture's Research Division at Union or call telephone numbers 468-5600 or 468-5602.
Welcome back to the program, Agriculture on the Move. We're discussing youth in agriculture. It's an exciting program for me personally. I want to see those young people out there in the next 5 years driving the biggest vehicles out there, FAR, and to be a proud farmer. Charlemagne, you were talking about the MOU that will be drawn up between, I suppose, SLDB and the young farmers. Could you elucidate again?
Yeah. In addition to driving a big vehicle, as you indicated, it would be nice to see the young farmers, they have their own home. They're able to support their family.
Definitely.
They're in a position where they could enhance their own personal development.
But they need a vehicle to transport the produce, the inputs.
Well, that could be done through a cooperative means.
Okay, very good, yes, yes, I understand that.
And then, as we mentioned that, the individuals are not left to themselves.
That's exactly just what I want. Right.
There is a mentorship program that is attached to the project, where individuals will be placed with a mentor, and then you'll be having also financial counseling. Okay, you'll be having persons with the know-how in the business. You'll be having individuals, for example, that are trained in life skills that will attach to them. So it's not just a matter of mentorship within the business environment, but rather mentorship that it's a holistic approach to developing those young individuals as a progressive and positive business individual.
You see, the reason why I ask that, which is very, very crucial, I don't want to see another Black Bee. That cancer to get involved in a new project like this. I don't think it is right, because Black Bee should be way, way ahead, and you, Terrance, should know that. So I'm thinking here are we going to a new program using young persons? I think they should be taken by the hand and led, and stand by them to ensure that they get on the right footing. The question of equipment, we talk about maybe going through a cooperative, area. In terms of, I heard you're having tractors. Are you going to have tractors in all 4 areas, or are you going to have one tractor pool? How's that going to work?
Okay, we're going to have 1 tractor pool, but 2 tractors will be in the north at the Mabuya Valley, and then another 2 tractors will be in Viewport at Boseju. Okay. We are actually constructing, as we speak, an equipment shed in the Boseju area. And again, as I indicated, the individuals will not be left on their own. We have risk mitigation strategies in place. We have disaster mitigation fund in place. There will be a buffer fund whereby the individuals, when they sell the produce, they will be able to get paid even before, let's say, the hotels or the supermarkets pay them. So that will increase the cash flow.
So who's taking that risk?
The risk, there will not be a risk. It is more like it will be a revolving fund. So the money will be there, and then I'm hoping that the government and the individuals themselves and other agencies will partner to establish that buffer fund.
But it's a buffer fund that you are thinking of having. But I mean, is it already structured?
There is a structure in place for that buffer fund, but it's just that the funds are not there yet. So we have reached a stage where we have conceptualized that buffer fund, and also the disaster mitigation fund, and then as the program unfolds, then we're going to establish the fund that will give rise.
Because you see, what I don't want to happen, which has been happening over the years, is that the youngsters, the interested, the agile, they want to get into this thing. When they start to produce and they sell the stuff to the hotels, and the hotels take 6 months to pay them, that can be a disaster. So I'm saying here, for example, I know in the case of Black Bee, right, the library credit union came on board and actually paying them every week based on their sales, and then they will wait on the hotels to pay. That's a formula that you all need to look at, because frustration of the young farmers should not be a case at all.
Well, again, this is the buffer fund concept that we are talking about, and that is the same fund, the same concept that will be replicated for the young farmers.
The question of the tractor pool, are you going to be hiring operators, or are you going to be training maybe some of those same youngsters to operate the tractors? How is that going to work?
Okay, it will be twofold. One, that we're going to hire two individuals, two tractor operators, and then the tractor operators will also train the individuals to manage those equipment. So you find at no point in time will there be a dearth of operators for tractors and equipment.
Most important, marketing. In terms of your planting schedule, who is going to work on this? Because we do not want an abundance of tomatoes on the market, and of course your price is lowered. How is that going to be structured? That's very, very crucial. Eh?
You're so right. Actually, there is a production plan, a production schedule in place, and the figures that we use are based on the shortfall in production and the level of importation that we have into the country.
So it's called import substitution.
It's the import substitution. So that is the first aspect we're going to deal with. And then we're going to identify the individuals who will produce to supply that shortfall on the market. So it will not be just production for all. It will be well organized, it will be well scheduled, so that we will know in advance what quantity, what volume of produce will be placed on the market at a particular point in time.
The marketing unit in the Ministry of Agriculture, what role do they play in this whole stream of things?
Actually, they actually assisted in the formulation of the production scheduling. So they're there, and then the constant monitoring of the market as to what the market requires. They are doing that, and then we are working closely with the marketing unit.
Those young farmers were trained already. I mean, they were trained about how much? About a year plus ago?
Yes.
Almost.
2 years.
About 2 years now,
yes.
right? I mean, they're frustrated, eh? At the street.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Yes, they are.
All right, and they have already. So in other words, what we are saying is the project really good project, but it started on the wrong footing, as far as I'm concerned, putting the cart before the horse. So what's in place for them now? Are they going to be, retrained?
Okay. They will be retrained.
Okay.
Okay. It will be more or less
like a
a
refresher course?
Refresher training.
Okay.
Right. That will be done. We are working in collaboration with the NSDC, so that they will provide that level of training for the individuals. And in fact, they may even get a certificate. Okay. They may even be certified.
Great.
After the refresher training.
Well, Charlemagne, welcome to the end of the program. I think I would like to go on and on and on, because that program is very exciting to me. I want to see young people, get moving. I want to see them, because they become to the ministry and they began with that zest. I need them to continue that zest and to maintain that zest for production. So, St. Lucia, you were watching Agriculture on the Move. I was speaking with Terrance Charlemagne, who is involved in the youth entrepreneurial program in the Ministry of Agriculture, attached to the southern end of the island. I'm hoping that the young people will view that program as the way forward. 1, employment. 2, to replace the aging farmers in St. Lucia, and of course to reduce our food import bill. For more information, contact the Ministry of Agriculture, contact your extension officers in the various regions for more information. Until then, I'm Phillip saying goodbye and see you again.
Agriculture on the Move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the Move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the Move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the Move.
Agricole en mouvement.